guys so much for joining us. We're super excited. If you don't know who I am, I'm Alexis Weigand. I am a MAPS coach, and I'm with my business partner, Emily Baker, who she's actually a full-time MAPS business coach. I am from San Antonio, Texas, and I lead a team here, and I am also our lead listing agent. So I am still very much in the thick of sellers. And we have a course called the Mega Listing Agent. And so we thought it would be fun to just take a little bit of what we have in our course and share it with you all today. So we're going to go live in just a minute. I want you guys to be thinking of your objections that you've been getting. Put them in the chat box because we're going to pull a couple. However, before we get started, I want to give Emily the opportunity to share a little bit of her background so you guys know who we are and what we do.
Hey everyone, thanks Alexis. Emily Baker from Springfield, Missouri. And like Alexis said, I'm a full-time mastery coach and I co-coach with Alexis, the group program, the Mega Listing Agent. And I specialize primarily in lead generation, listings, and sales. And I'm super excited to go through these objections with what y'all are hearing. So again, if you'll just type in the chat what you guys are hearing out there. I want to start off with something that Alexis and I dive deep into our course on. If you have a pen and paper, I'd probably write this down. Expectations eliminate objections. So expectations eliminate objections. So as you're getting objections, one of the things that I would challenge you to think about are what are the expectations such that by setting those, I would eliminate getting this objection over and over again. Clarity's power. We know that from our bold laws, and we want to help you guys in your preparation through your presentation, consultations, and skill set there to not get as many objections. And yet we know name of the game right now is sellers, right, Alexis?
That's right. Okay, so, and just to mimic what she said, setting expectations eliminates objections. If you guys don't retain anything that we share today, please write that down and repeat it. Setting expectations eliminates objections. And then I also want to give you this nugget. In the absence of value, it becomes a commission conversation. So I saw someone in here. Who was it? I love that you guys are so active in the chat channel. Thank you for that. Okay, Tony Zacharias. Will you sell it for 1%? So I don't know about you guys. I've been doing this for 17 years, and I struggled with a mindset when people asked me to cut my commission. Like internally, I would just get super frustrated. Like, are you serious? Are you really asking me this? And now I look at it completely differently. So I don't know about you, Emily, but I love to be able to take on a commission cut one.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Cool. Tony, that's crazy that they're asking you to cut to 1%, but let's just take in general the idea of you go to a listing appointment and you go for the close and they say, well, we really like everything that you've said. However, we have been told, we've already interviewed 2 other agents and they said they were going to do it for less. Okay. So I'll take it from there. So I'd say, interesting. Okay. I can appreciate that. And I'm always going to smile and nod my head. Right. So that's a great question. So out of curiosity, what did they drop it to? Because I want to get really clear. And they're going to go, well, both of them agreed to drop it to 2%, or both of them agreed to drop it. That's what we hear the most. So are you willing to do the same? And so I like to say, well, let me ask you this. Do you know how commissions work? Just out of curiosity, do you know how they work? And most of the time they're like, no. So, okay, well, and then I pull my wallet out, or put these in my briefcase, and y'all, I always have my dollar bills super handy. And I said, well, I came absolutely prepared for this question because you're just like everyone else. Everyone likes to ask about this. And not many people understand how it works. So here's the deal. Commissions, at least in the state of Texas, or in our industry, typically are 6%. And so 3% goes to the listing agent broker and 3% goes to the brokerage of the buyer agent. So I'm going to just make this really simple, right? It's 3 and 3. So here's $3 bills. So number one is brokerage. Whether I'm running my own brokerage or I'm with a brokerage and I'm with Keller Williams and I'm my own broker, there's still fees to pay, right? And there's still errors and omissions, et cetera. So we're going to just take this off the table. And so now we're left with $2 bills or 2 buckets. One is marketing and one is profit. Marketing and profit. So out of curiosity, you said both of these agents were willing to cut their commission. If these were 2 buckets, which one do you think they would be more likely to reduce? The amount of marketing that they're going to do and spend, and the amount of money they're going to spend on finding the one buyer that's willing to pay top dollar on your house, because that's really what we're looking for, right? Like, yeah. Or are they going to reduce the amount that they're going to take home and put in their pockets to help feed their family? Which one do you think they're most likely going to drop? And they're going to say what? They're going to say marketing. Say, okay, well, here's the difference. And let me just stop right here because we're in such a seller's market. The reality is you could go, your question that you're asking yourself is not if I can sell your house or not, because let's be honest, you can go put a sign in your yard and you can sell your house as a for sale by owner. The question that you guys are asking is, who is the agent that can sell your house at top dollar, right? While making this seamless and stress-free. So then at this point, you can go through your value proposition on exactly what you guys do to market the property. And another way you can create doubt is go, so how does my marketing plan compare to the marketing plan that the other agent went over with you? And they're going to go, well, they didn't really go into detail. You go, huh, right? We're creating doubt. Like, that's interesting. So you have clarity on what our marketing does. And then here's another tip you can say. You can go, well, you know, I got to be honest with you. I am not one of those agents. We call them the 3P agents. This is an easy acronym for y'all to remember. I'm not one of those. What I'm not is one of those agents that's just going to go put a sign in your yard, put your house on MLS, and sit back and pray somebody brings us an offer. And that's not what you want, right? So then, right, at any of these points, you're going to have them laughing, or you're going to have them at a yes, because clear as day, someone else is going to cut marketing. And that's just when you go for your close and say, okay, great. So, and then you can also share, here's another one I like to close with when you're doing commissions, is your sales price to list price ratio. So out of curiosity, these other 2 agents share their list price to sales price ratio with you? And they're going to say no. Say, wow, that's like the number one thing on our resume. So right now we're averaging our clients 9% above list price. So really the only question is, and let's say if that's a $500,000 house, what do you plan on doing with the $45,000 extra dollars that I'm going to put into your pocket when you choose to hire me? Right? Like, make this fun, kind of flirt with your client and just go, really, the only question is, what are you going to do with that $45,000? Because that's what I'm averaging my clients just like you. Are you ready to choose to hire me? Emily, what would you add to that? Or what do you want to point out? Because I gave you guys a couple different tactics to use when you get the commission objection.
Yeah, I loved that. I love the, first of all, the visual, because most people learn visually. So they hear everyone saying the same thing, but coming prepared with the dollar bills and showing them does make a difference. The other thing that I love that you notated was, it's not going to take a lot to sell a house in this market. I see Kelly here saying, do you really need marketing? I mean, it really, my house is going to sell. And that is a common thing that we're hearing. So just by saying, it's not even if it's going to sell, it's for how much it's going to sell, right? And that's really what matters, and shifting into the list price to sales price ratio. And if you don't know yours, or if you're newer, use your teams, use your brokerage, your KW office, use whatever resource that you can find that shows that right now, on average, most properties are going at or above list. So the goal is just how much can you net? Because at the end of the day, their bottom line is what matters.
Yep.
So a couple things here. There's two that I'm like really toggling between. So I'm going to go really quick on one, and then I'm going to role play with you, Alexis, on the other. That's a little longer. Does that sound good?
Yeah. So guys, we've got 30 minutes today. We're almost halfway through. So these might feel a little quick.
Okay. So the first one that I wanted to touch on is I could sell high. However, I would also have to buy high. And I'm not really sure if I'm willing to do that, right? I'm not sure if I'm going to buy and sell in the same market. So what I like to do here is I like to ask, this is the contacts one where I'm going to go through quick, guys. So I like to ask them, hey, Alexis, the market's extremely strong right now. We know that. And yet if you could find what you're looking for within your price range, what would stop you from making an offer? So I go back to isolating the objection.
Right. Am I role playing with you on this one or the next one?
No, the next one.
Okay.
I'm just giving them context of how I would ask it. And then a lot of them are going to say, well, I guess if you can find, within a decent price range, I would be willing to, right? And then all of us agents internally, I roll, and if it's realistic or not. And then I go, yeah, well, Alexis, a good deal and a good term for a property is really determined by you and what you decide on as the purchaser, right? A good deal to me and a good deal to you could look completely different. Is that fair? Yeah. So if we get clear on what you're looking for in the market, I will find you a property. The thing is that, and this is from the MREI, the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. Gary says, deals aren't found, opportunities are found, and deals are made. So I literally just took this from Gary. Say the thing is, deals aren't found, opportunities are found, and then deals are made. We're clear on what you're looking for in this market. Right? So the goal is not to shop where everyone else is shopping on the MLS. The goal is to partner with me, the agent who has a strategy, in order to find you what you're looking for where other people aren't looking at it, such that we can make a deal in this market. And then I would just stop and stare at them and see what they say. Silence does the heavy lifting, guys. So a lot of times we talk ourselves out of sales. So just sit there and just let them really process that. Deals aren't found, opportunities are found, and then deals are made. Such a game changer for perspective. And think about how many investors are scooping up houses right now, right?
I love it.
Deals are made in any market. So it's just changing their mindset. So, okay, here, this one was blowing up in the chat. I don't know where I would go, or I have nowhere to go if we were to sell, or I want to find the house first, or maybe I want to find a rental first. Quite a few of you were saying, basically, I want to secure my next house, but I have to sell before I buy. And yet I want to identify the next house before I do that. We all hearing that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Alexis, this is a Q&A. So I'm going to really just kind of go through this with you if you want to play. Okay, cool. So, hey, Alexis, I appreciate, that you may think that, and, you've seen other properties, like when they come on the market online looking, you've seen properties that would work. They've just already went under contract. Is that right?
That's exactly right. As soon as something pops up, it's under contract within like a couple of hours.
Yeah. What's interesting about that is a lot of people are saying that we have such a low inventory market. And yet what is interesting about that is finding inventory isn't the problem, because like you said, things are coming up. The problem is that the demand is extremely high, right? So you actually may have some more options than you think that you have. What I'd like to do is just go through 4 options with you that are allowing my sellers to buy and sell in the same market, just to see what works for you. Sound good?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're looking for. We're so frustrated right now. So yes, options would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I know a lot of agents just add to the problem. So we're here to find a solution today. So first off, if the house sold, okay, and we did not find a property. This is worst case scenario, because people are selling and buying in today's market. Just so you know, traditional real estate still happening. So there is fear. So these are worst case scenario options. So worst case, we don't find something and we get multiple offers on your property. You're like, gosh, Emily, what do I do? Do you have someone that you could stay with, maybe friends, family, temporary housing options?
I mean, my mom lives here, so we could move us and the kids into her house. I think my husband might kill me, but it's not ideal, but we have somewhere that we can go, but it can't be for more than a couple weeks. There's no way we could maintain sanity.
Yeah, I totally get that. So worst case, a couple weeks, and yet that's really not ideal.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. Second option, would you be open to doing maybe an Airbnb or some kind of short-term rental?
Are those? Oh my God, that is such a good idea. I mean, I've been looking at rentals, but everything says like 12 months. I didn't even think about doing an Airbnb. Are those expensive?
You know,
I can do like, we can do a month, right?
You know, it really just depends on the properties. However, I know quite a few people who Airbnb properties or have started Airbnb businesses just for people in your situation that I can get in contact with. So again, for convenience factor, would you be open to doing that?
Yes. Pause. Y'all, that's been the response every time I've brought that up. It's always been like, oh my God, that's such a great idea. So yes, that's a great idea. And pause. I mean, again, it's not ideal because we're having to do a double move, but yes, certainly we can explore that.
Awesome. Your mom or the short-term rental? Let's rank them. Which one would you rather do?
Oh my God, the short-term rental all day long.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm going to star that. Okay, so next option, have you absolutely ensured that you cannot buy and sell at the same time? We have things like bridge loans with our in-house lenders. Is that something that you have maybe considered or double checked on?
What's it, guys? I'm going to respond how I usually hear it. What's a bridge loan?
Yeah, so it's a short-term niche loan that basically allows you to buy a home before you sell. It is a little bit more expensive because you're paying for the short-term loan and interest, but it does allow you to buy first as long as you meet the income and credit requirements.
I don't know. I'd rather like, it just gives me anxiety. I'd rather have a place, either be able to, I really don't want to have to make 2 moves. And I don't know, what about like, I've kind of heard people talk about lease backs or like a rent back.
Yeah, well, that was my fourth option. So we're, just to be clear, it's a no on the bridge loan. Like that's not something that we would be open to. It's fine. I just want to make sure.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to cross that one off. So no bridge loan, making a note there. Okay. So yes, lease back. I saved the best for last. So you just teed me up right here. You can actually, because the demand is really high, like I said, properties are coming on. It's just the demand that's really high, meaning we have multiple buyers looking for the same thing. So what we can do is we can actually negotiate a lease back for you. And you can stay in your house and rent it back from the new owners for 2 weeks, maybe even 2 months. Sometimes we can elongate the closing date, but as far as, you know, the lease back goes, this is a secure peace of mind. And what we're finding, especially in this market, is that buyers are willing to accommodate more to sellers to, you know, stay obviously at the top of the list and be more competitive. So that's the option. The fourth option is a lease back. What do you think about that?
Well, how much okay, so you're telling me like we can close and fund, money is in the bank, if we, and so like, let's say there's a 2-week lag, right? We've like found the house, but we haven't been able to obviously like close, move in. So what if we needed, and you were saying we could get 3 or 4 weeks to stay in the house, which would give us more time to go by. Sorry, I'm just processing this through. And how much is that going to cost me?
Yeah. So typically we would negotiate a specific amount with the buyer. So it's all in negotiations. And what we would do is we would go ahead and negotiate that with the person, the purchaser, right, on price as well as timeline in the negotiation. So it's just a separate addendum and we would get it all negotiated. So
I think that's the simplest for my family. Is if I really want to eliminate a double move. I don't, even if it's temporary and we find an Airbnb, if we have to, I guess we can go that route. But I just don't need any more stress in my life right now. And so if we can get top dollar on this house and have some wiggle room and time before we are able to, if we haven't been able to find the house, I think that's the option, my top option.
Awesome. So Alexis, here's what I'm hearing you say. We've really got 3 worst case scenario options. Okay. First is the traditional sale can still happen. I'm still selling real estate traditionally. Okay. This is just in the event that you don't find something. Our worst case scenario, we would first do a lease back. If that didn't work, we'll find short-term rental Airbnb. If that falls through, worst case scenario, we're in with mom. And yet we're probably not going to be in with mom because that's like plan, D over here, right? Plan A is that we're going to do a traditional real estate sale, and that you top dollar in this market. So, finding a home isn't going to be the issue, while purchasing. Luckily for you, I'm negotiating 3 to 5 times or more per week. So leaving you homeless is not going to be an option. Okay. I am a specialist at negotiating. I've yet to leave someone homeless. You're not going to be my first person. And I do have an extra space for you and your family if it is. So that would be option E. But looking at the calendar, we go live on Thursdays on the market. So would you prefer, your house is in pristine condition. Now that we have this plan in place, would you prefer to go live Thursday the 24th or Thursday the 30th?
I'm going to assume she's done or you're done, right?
I'm done. Yep.
Okay. Yes. So what I loved about that is at least my responses are what we typically get. And just for all of you listening, I know you're in different markets. You might be like, we don't do lease backs. We do lease back, and it's easier for the client to understand rent back. So we always say lease back, which is a rent back. This is totally normal. This is totally standard. By choosing to hire me, I'm doing this for free so that your life is simple and stress-free. So how long would you like? 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Because I'm going to go negotiate that for you. And oh, by the way, it's going to be cheaper than your mortgage, and I might get it for free for you. So most people, at least that I work with, choose the lease back because it eliminates the stress of making a double move. And it's crazy to me how many agents don't bring this up in a listing appointment. We've won several listing appointments by just proactively educating, oh, by the way, this is something that we do for our client that we do differently that most agents don't do. And they're like, oh, that's phenomenal. So everything you said, Emily, I love. We always go to people they don't like being told what to do. They like options. So I like that you prefaced it with like, hey, there's actually 4 options. And you strategically took me through all 4. And I like that you reminded me at the end that I would in fact choose 3. I really liked that. Okay, it's 1:55. We don't have.
Why don't you guys write your takeaways? What are you going to take from these objection handlers into your seller consultations and follow-ups this, next couple weeks? What was a big aha for you guys? Go ahead and type it in the chat. Alexis and I love feedback. As Gary says, feedback is the breakfast of champions, and we want to know what you guys like.
Come on, your favorite was the
dollar bill. Yep.
Y'all, I can't tell you how many times I've had people laughing at me. And when you can insert humor and make people laugh, man, that helps you in a fierce conversation around money. Because I'm like, I came prepared. I'm so excited to answer that question. All right, so if you guys enjoyed me and Emily today and any of the content we're giving you, it is like a fraction of what we're offering. So we are hosting our second round of the Mega Listing Agent MAPS group course. We launched September 8th on Wednesday. If you guys joined us last time, it was on Monday. So mark your calendar. It's on Wednesdays this time. It's $199 for 3 months. We are doing a full 12 sessions again. And it's at 1:30 Central Standard. It is an hour. Everything is going to be recorded. And today is recorded as well. So if you missed something, you hopped on late, or you want to like slow it down and write your scripts out, don't worry, you'll get it. What do you want to add to that, Emily?
Yeah, we're just super grateful that you guys joined us today. And we would love to see you at the Mega Listing Agent. This is literally, we go through objections on like half of a course. So we've got so much content for you to be an exceptional listing agent. Like we go through start to finish. So whether you are a newer agent or you've been in the business for years, we really talk about either defining systems or refining systems and kind of help you guys put into place where you're at. And then you get Alexis and I full for those 3 months. So we have a Facebook group and you can interact with us and we'd love to have you. And we're grateful that you guys came today. So
super grateful. If you guys want to follow us, we're the Alexis Weigand Real Estate Group. All of our marketing, all systems, all processes. I've tried being as transparent as possible on our group course. So we use several things from Keller Williams, and yet we also give you several things that I have personally found that help me on my journey, because I've been doing this for 17 years. So we have lots to share. We'd love to see you in the course. And this was fun. Emily, I think we should do a live session like this again.
Yeah, I agree. I like this. I like that did you guys like choosing the objections? If you'll give us a thumbs up or put in the chat versus just coming up with content to share with you. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. We thought it would be fun just to kind of, as you guys, what are you hearing? We want to add value. So awesome. Cool. All right. Well, you guys have an exceptional rest of your week. We will see you September 8th. And if you have any questions, reach out to maps@kw.com or connect with Alexis and I on social media.
And we're going to leave this up for a hot second because I feel like so advanced. We have our own QR code. So get your photo or your camera out and you can just QR it and do the right thing, right? And sign up for our course because we're going to help you make tons of money and save a ton on when you get the fabulous question. Cut your commission. All right. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a fabulous week.
Thank you.
Thanks.